Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. My name's Cody, aka the Lamp Guru, and today we're going to show you guys how to make light boxes the reverse way from the original video that I uploaded to YouTube. When you do it the way that I originally uploaded, let's say you get an error on the front of that lamp, you use about 100 to 150 grams because that front plate has all the depth. So whenever it's done, you take it off the plate, look at it, there's a wisp or something's wrong with it, you have to start all over and you just wasted all that filament. I'm going to show you the way to do it backwards. That way the front plate is thinner and the back plate is the one with all the depth. That way if there is any issues, you're only losing maybe 30 to 50 grams of filament. So we'll go ahead and get started so that way it doesn't take too long today. So first things first, we're just going to make it a generic image, just something that you guys are familiar, some of you are probably familiar with. I'm going to use the Ace of Spades card. So first thing you're going to do is open up your browser. I use Chrome, you can use Edge too, and you're going to want to open up either vectorization.org or you're going to want to open up Convertio File Converter. I found that both of these work pretty well when you're trying to convert an image to an SVG. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and hit choose file right there. You basically, to get this image, you can download any image that you find, or if you have an image or draw an image yourself, it'll be on your computer. You click on this, and you're going to go to downloads. I've already got one chosen, so I'm going to click on Ace of Spades. You want your output format to be in an SVG format, so make sure that says SVG. Go ahead and click Start. And once this is loaded and done, this is our image that it's given us. So you'll just click right here and it's going to save it. Now I already have it saved, so I'm just going to put 2, click save. And now we got it saved. So we're going to go ahead and next open up Fusion. So now that I got Fusion 360 open, it's going to be basically the same start as that last video I uploaded. The first thing you're going to want to do is click on Create a Sketch. I always tend to click on this one for some reason. You can click on any one of those planes, but this one's the easiest for me. Then you're going to want to go up here in the left-hand corner and click on 2-point rectangle. Okay, so I do that. I usually come to this 10th box up from on 150 to start. You can start really anywhere. That's just where I prefer to do it from. And now you're going to type in 250, tab 250, because I use a bamboo printer, so obviously the print area is 254 millimeters. I don't want to go outside of that. So I'm going to hit enter. So both of those are 250 millimeters long. I'm going to double click on this outside line, and then you're going to click the letter O for offset. Okay, so this will be able to offset a line off of that line. It's going to basically mirror that line, that square right there. You can even have it go inside or outside of that. So we want it to go outside, and we're going to click 10, click OK. So now we got our little portrait image there, right, that we're going to put our image inside of. So you'll hit Finish Sketch over here on the right-hand side. All right, so now you see a blank, just that blank thing we just did on that sketch. You're going to click Create a Sketch again, and just click anywhere off to the side, just like that. And you're going to want to go to Insert up here at the top. Now, once you click Insert, go to Insert SVG. And once you click that, you're going to go to Insert from my computer. So I just now downloaded that Ace of Spades. So we got it there. Now when it uploads on my end, I always have to flip it. So I click this once, I click that once, and then I click that once again, and it puts it the right way towards you. Now here's where you want to kind of scale it. Now you can always scale it in your slicer, but I try to get it as close to I can to the outer edge. I want either 2 boxes on top and 2 boxes below, or 3 boxes on top and 3 boxes below. But right here is actually a pretty good starting point. So I try to even it out on the left. There's 5 boxes on the left of the image and 5 boxes on the right, and that's about even on top and bottom. So you're going to click OK. Now for this image, just me looking at it, I think that line's too small. Yeah, I'm sure the printer could do it, but I'd like it just a tad bigger. So first thing I'm going to do is get rid of that first sketch that we did. You just click on sketches over here on the drop down, and then this is hide or unhide, just like that. So what I want to do, it looks like this outer edge line is a little bit more curvier. This one has a little bit of pointiness going to it. So I'm going to double click on this outer edge, and I basically just want to replicate this line but make it bigger. So I'm going to click offset, and then I'm going to click -3, and that's going to make it go out 3 millimeters. Then you're going to click OK. Now I don't want this line in here anymore, so I'm going to double click on it and it should highlight the whole area that it's connected to. Then click delete on your keyboard. So now that's been deleted. Now we're going to do is offset our image so that way we can get the lip that goes inside of the back plate and then the outer edges. So we're going to double click again on this, and you can right click. Well, no, because we just deleted. So you're going to hit O after you double click on that, and that's going to take you right back to offset. And you may get this error sometimes. That just means that you need to try a different offset, try a different size and millimeter or whatever. So what I'm going to do is take this out 5 millimeters. So I'll click -5, hit OK. Now you can do that all over again. You could double click on that and click O and do it again, or you can just right click and then go to repeat offset there at the top and click on that line. And we're going to go -7.5 out next. And we're going to do that all over again. Right click, go up to repeat offset, hit that green line and -10. All right, so now we've got our image and our offsets ready to go, and we're going to go ahead and click Finish Sketch. So this is where the fun begins. We're going to start extruding here. So you're going to want to highlight the entire area. And what I do to be able to see that it's which way it's going in extruding, you're going to want to hold down the Shift button, and I use the scroller on my mouse and I push down on that as well for me to go like that. This way you can look at it from all angles. So I just turn it a tad. So remember, hold Shift and hold the scroll button down, and then just move your mouse back and forth, and it'll move it. So once you do that, I'm going to hit Extrude, and then I'm going to hit 2 because we want that back plate to be 2 millimeters thick. And you're going to go over here to this Extrude menu where it says Start and go down to Object, because you want to turn that into an object. Now you want to offset that object. You want to move it away from that object, this number right here. So what we want to do for this one, this way we can make it both sitting, you can make it hanging or sitting. We're going to do it at 40 millimeters. If you're just doing something like for a customer that they just want a sitting lamp, 40 millimeters works. I like to do it at 50 millimeters if they just want something sitting. But if you just want something that's good all around, 40 millimeters works. So you're going to go ahead and click OK to that. Now again, your image, just like in the last video, is going to disappear. You didn't do anything wrong. You're just going to go back over here to the left-hand side and unhide sketch 2. So now we've got the beginning of our back plate, and then now you've got your sketch up. Now also, when you just did that, let me go ahead and take that back just so you guys can see. We're going to go to Object, and we wanted to hit 40 here. Now, when it says operation down here, it's going to say new body. You want it to say new body for this because we are creating a new body. So you want it to create that and hit OK. Again, make sure you unhide sketch 2. Go over to bodies because you've just created one. And I'd like to label my stuff so you can name this backplate. And at the end, I usually do 2 backplates. So we'll have backplate 1, backplate 2 when we save it. But now the next step we're going to do is go ahead and move all the way in. And this is where it differs from the last time. So what we're going to do is click on this outside edge right here. Because we want to make this object right here, the back plate, we want to make it with all the depth. So you're going to click Extrude. You're going to go over here to the Extrude menu and click right here on Start and click on Object. Now once you clicked Object, select the face of the object right there. Now since we made this 40 millimeters, we're going to actually make it come back 36 millimeters because the actual back plate is 2 millimeters thick, and the front plate on the outer edge is going to be 2 millimeters thick, so it needs to equal 40. So we're going to go -36, and then that comes back in that way. And now it actually changed from new body to join. For this one specifically, we want it to join. We want that outer edge of the back plate to join with that the very back part of the back plate. So click OK, and now we've got the depth here on our back plate. Now the good news is we can hide the back plate now because we don't need that for right now. And we're going to start putting in our color or our bodies for our colors and extruding those. So we're just doing black and white on this one to make it simple. I usually like to do black last since I do the outer edges with black. That's just personal preference. You guys can do it in whatever order you want. But obviously on a card, this would be a white area. Then you want to look inside of the A, And to click on a second body, you're going to hold down the shift button on your keyboard and then click on that blue one. Now, if I would have clicked on this and then tried to click on this as well, it's going to take away that first one. So you got to hold shift down to get that other body in there with it. And you're going to go back down and click this. Now, if you look into the future, what we're going to have is this outer edge is going to be black since this is white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this little area right here. I'm also going to make that white as well. That way we've got the black edge of the card. Then we're going to have one more white edge, and then the outer two are going to be black as well. So for white, you're going to hit E for extrude. And just like I do, I kind of turn it around, make sure I know which way it's going. Now here, to get light to shine through it, you got to make it thin. So you can make it at either 0.6. Here recently, I've been making a few at 0.7, and they still work just fine, especially with lighter colors. Now darker colors, 0.7 is going to take away a little bit of the light. But in my opinion, it holds together a little better. I don't know if you guys have had issues with light boxes that, they'll come apart on the front with the seams. So that's why I try to make it a little thicker. I think it's helped, but so there we go. We got 0.7 in there. It's extruding backwards, and you want it to say new body right here. Once you do that, you're going to click OK. And if you look over here to the left, it just created 4 new bodies, and they'll highlight up. If you hover over them, you'll get to see which ones they are. So what we're going to do is click on body 2. You're going to hold the shift button down and then click on body 5 so it highlights all of these, because we're going to name this body white. So let's do that again. So we're going to click on body 2, hold shift, click on body 5, and you only have to click one time on body 2, and then you can label it white. And that way it labels all 4 of them. All right, now we're going to come back, and at any point in time, if you want to look at any side of this, you can come over here to this box in the upper right hand corner, click bottom, left, right, front, but we're mainly just dealing with the front here. So now we're going to do the black bodies, but we're not actually going to do the outer edge black bodies yet, because what I do is when let's say I'm doing a black color, I usually extrude that 1 millimeter. Now these outer edge body, this one is going to be 2 millimeters, and then this one's going to be our lip, so it's going to be bigger as well. So we're going to select these separately, so it's going to be this one, then you're going to hold shift, click on that second body, then the third body, the fourth body, the fifth body, and then the sixth body. So we got those highlighted right there. We're going to hit extrude, E for extrude on the keyboard, and we're going to do that 1 millimeter. And make sure it went back. It sure did. So now if you notice when we did that, the first time we did that, it said new body on operation. That's because it wasn't touching anything. When you extrude something that's touching something else, it'll try to join it together, and that'll mess you up when you're trying to color it later, things like that. So you always want to make sure that it says new body on these. So once we select new body and we make sure the distance is 1 millimeter, we're going to hit OK. And now it's coming together. So what we're going to do now, as you notice, all the bodies popped up over here. I'm not going to label those yet because we got 2 more blacks to do. So I do this outer edge one first because it won't change to join. It stays on new body, and you'll see why. When you hit extrude, we're going to extrude this 2 millimeters, and it'll stay as new body. So it's just real easy. E extrude, hit 2, then hit OK. Now we're going to go. Oh, security camera's going off. All right, so on this next one, you're going to click right there. This is going to be the lip of our light box. So what I've been doing recently, since it's 2 millimeters thick on the outside, I actually do mine at 9 for all my new light boxes. I found this way, it hangs on real well. You can hang it up and it's not going to fall off. So I do it at 9 millimeters. I extrude it back towards the back plate. And as you can see, this one says join as well. You want it to be new body. You want to hit new body on this. So click OK once you click new body. And now we've got our Ace of Spades light box. Now, if you want to color it in the slicer, if you want to color it in Fusion, I color mine in slicer, but if you just want to see what it looks like here, you're going to go ahead and click, I'm going to close this, you're going to click the A button on your keyboard for appearance, and the appearance menu is going to pop up. And this is your colors right here. So to get different colors, you're going to right click on this and click duplicate. And since we only got 2 colors here, we only need to do 2. But to edit it and change the colors, you're going to right click on it, click edit, and then you've got all these color choices. You just basically drag and drop it. I'm going to make that black, and then I'm going to right click on that silver one again, hit edit, and take it to white. So now we got our black and our white. So first we're going to click on white over here. So click on the first white one, hold the shift button, and click on the last white one. And that's our 4 white bodies. And we're just going to click on this and drag it all the way over. And now we've just colored our light box. So since black was the first color, it already colored all the black bodies. So we actually don't have anything else to do here. But it kind of looks like there's little green stuff around here like that. What you're going to do to get that to go away, you're going to hit close to get out of that and go over to sketch 2 and hide sketch 2. Now we've got an ace of spades light box. Here's where I like to do something a little different. I changed the backplate back to white because whenever we're doing what we're going to hang it with and where we're going to put our hole for our LEDs to go through, it's easier to see if it's a lighter color whenever you're trying to put that in there and do a new sketch, because we're about to do another sketch to put that hole in there. If you try to do it when it's black, it's a little harder to see. So what I'm going to do is just hit A for appearance again, pull this white over and put it on the back plate, and we're good to go. Now for this one, since it's flat, to do a flat one like this, just for if you want it to stand and sit on something, you're going to hit create a sketch and just click right there on that back plate. So you're making a sketch right on the back plate. You're going to go up here to the top left-hand corner to 2-point rectangle. And as you notice, this is our middle line right here. It goes straight down. Me personally, I'm sure everyone has different sizes that they do, but what I like to do is 14 long and 8 up and down. So just a best guess, if I was going to do 14, I'm going to get it right around in this area. Now you can zoom in and get it, but for time purposes, we're just going to eyeball it. So you can type those in, is what I just did. So I hit 8, so that was 14, tab, 8, and then you click enter. So now we've created a new sketch on top of the back plate. You're going to hit finish sketch and click on that little box right there. You're going to hit extrude, and what I do is, it's the fastest way on the keyboard, just hit -9 or -90. Don't hit -90, it'll go through the front. But yeah, hit -9, and if you turn it to the side, what it's going to do, it's going to cut, it says in the operation here, it's going to cut into that light box and make that hole that we're looking for. So now we got our hole for our LED. So if this was just sitting on a desk, that LED could come out right there. Now to go back on things, if you wanted to go backwards, you're going to hold Control and then hit Z. So Control Z takes away the last thing you did and it goes back. It keeps going back. You can go back pretty far. I'm pretty sure you can go back all the way to the start. You can also look down here. This is your timeline of events on what you've done. So like if I turn this around, you can see that this was extruded first. Everything that's highlighted was extruded first, which was the back plate. Then we did the back plate lip. Then we did the white part of the card, the black part of the card, except for the exterior, then the exterior black part of the card, and then the lip. So now we're at our newest sketch that we were about to do. And I'm actually going to take this away. We don't want that anymore because I'm going to show you how to do a hanging one as well. So for a hanging one, you're going to go up here to the left-hand corner and hit 2-point triangle. Let's make sure we got that straight. I like to go up here, since I clicked on 150, I always go to this green line right here, and I click in 12, hit the tab button, then 50. That should be plenty of space for somebody to hang it, and then just click down on it. Now to do the sawtooth method, you can click on the line, zoom in, and you're basically just going to go from corner to corner all the way across for 50 millimeters. Now, it may not be the best, but I'm just going to try to get this out of the way so you guys can just see how it's done. And see that one right there. So if I messed up, I just hit Control Z and it takes it back. So then you go back on it And we're almost finished. Let's do it right there. All right, so now we got that done. It's not pretty, but you can make it pretty and take your time when you're doing it. Hit Finish Sketch. You're going to click on this bigger part, and then you're going to hit the E button on your keyboard for Extrude. Again, I hit -9 because it's just the fastest way of doing it. And it cuts 9 millimeters into it. And once you hit cut, you hit, make sure it says cut, and you click OK. So now we got our hanger option for our light box. Now what we're going to do next, if it's hanging, obviously you don't want that LED to come out the back because then it's just going to push it away from the wall. You're going to want it on the bottom. So what you'll do is you'll kind of make sure you're looking at the bottom here. Go over to Create a Sketch. And actually I get to show you something. So what we're going to do, and I hope we can do it here, you can construct a plane at an angle. Yep, right there. So you go to Construct, Plane at Angle, and basically it'll let you click on these little lines like this, any of those little lines, and we had one right there. And that just makes something that we can draw off of if we make a sketch. So you're going to click OK for that plane at an angle. We're going to create that sketch that we just tried to do and click right there. And now we're drawing right there on the edge of that. So you're going to go back to 2-point rectangle. You can use a circle here too. Really whatever you want to do, just make a hole for the LEDs. Zoom in just for fun. We're just going to do it like this. So we're going to do 14 and 10, just like that. Now we click on that. And you're going to hit E for extrude. Again, -9. Nope, it's going to be 9. Just like that. It's going to cut into the light box. You click OK. Now we got our LED hole. So then you can change it back if you want. It's easy to get a screenshot of this. Then you can upload those to like Maker World or something. If you want an image of it, a digital image, you can just take a screenshot. But I'm using my snippet tool right now to record. So what we're going to do next is we want to save it. Ace of Spades lamp. All right, so to save, this is where it gets tricky for some people, but it's really easy if you just look at it, and I'll explain how. So we're going to want to hide everything right now out the gate. But first, I want to go ahead and label these just so we have them labeled black, even though we know the only unlabeled ones are black. So you're going to click on Backplate, and then the very bottom body that we have there, and then you're going to click the letter V to hide. V can hide or unhide. So we want to hide everything. Then click off of that. And the first thing we want to do is we want to save the backplate. So you'll click on Backplate, hit that letter V to unhide it. You're going to go all the way up here to where it says Ace of Spades Lamp V1 and right click on it. When you right click on it, make sure it's showing right here on the right side of the image. And you're going to click Save as Mesh. Now it's going to have the Save as Mesh menu pop up here. You're going to want it in the STL format in millimeters, and you want to do it in high quality. Okay, this is as high as you can get. You can't get any higher quality than this. So click on high quality, and then you're going to click OK. And this screen's going to pop up. So this is where I label my backplates. I usually do backplate 1 or backplate 2. So there's backplate 1. That's going to pop back up. All right, now we're going to hide. Actually, what I want to do next, just to show you guys if you want to make 2 backplates back to back and save them both. So here's a way you can do this and look at your, you basically just look down here at your timeline in the left-hand corner. You're going to right-click on that and click Suppress Feature. So now that goes away. And we're going to do the same thing for the sawtooth right there. We're going to suppress that feature. Again, I want to make this backplate white so we can see it. We're going to click Create a Sketch over here and click on that backplate because we want a sitting and a standing one. So we'll just make a 10 by 10 box just like that. Once you made that 10 by 10, click Finish Sketch. Click on that box. Hit the letter E for Extrude because you want to be able to cut into it. Then hit -9, and now we've cut into that. All right, so now I've got that done. So I can change it back to black if you want. You don't even have to do that. But now it's still showing. So all I have to do here, since it's still showing and it's unhidden, and everything else is hidden. You'll right click again on Ace of Spades lamp 1, go to Save as Mesh, click OK because everything's going to save from your last save. It'll be the exact same. So click OK, and then I'm going to label this Backplate 2, and it's going to do that on every single one of them. All right, so now to save the white, you're going to hide Backplate 1. You can just click hide or highlight it again, remember, and click V to hide it. Now we're going to click on white, the first one and the bottom one, while we're holding shift doing that. So that way you highlight all of them. Then click the letter V. That way it's all showing. Again, like we did on the backplate, you're going to right click up here, save as mesh. Everything's the same, so you're going to click OK, and we're going to label this white. And again, we're going to click on the top one, hold shift, and click on the bottom one, and click V to hide them. And this is the last thing we're going to have to do in Fusion. So click on black there at the top, hold shift, click on black at the bottom. So we got all of them highlighted. Click V to unhide it so that way you can see it because this is what it's saving right here. So then you're going to right click again and then save as mesh. Okay. And then we're going to save it as black. Got it. All right, so now we've got all of our parts saved. So what we're going to do, I've already got a Bamboo Studio thing here. And actually, I can show you something else real quick before we move on. Just to give you guys an idea, if you want to make stands and you want to know how to do that, we're going to unhide Sketch 2. We're actually going to go down to our timeline down here, all the way to Sketch 2. Right-click on it, go to Edit Sketch. And you're going to see that very first sketch that we made with all the offsets. You can do it either way. This is just a simple way, but click on line up here in the left-hand corner. This one's flat, so it doesn't need one, but just for a reference, if say it was curved or whatever, I like to click right there on that line, come down about 4 or 5 millimeters, just like that. You can go in right there, and then you could just kind of draw it out just like that. And that should work right there. Then this one went out. Let's see how far we want to go out. So 4 from there. So 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. And it'll line up with it if you want to get it to do that. Then boom. And then that one went out another 4 right above it. So we'll go to about right there. And then to, oh, no, it doesn't want to go. So you got to zoom in when it does this. There you go. So now we just made that. Now, if you want the LEDs to come out the bottom and have a hole to go out the bottom, you can either draw a line in there or just make a square, just like that. And then you're going to hit Finish Sketch. Now we've got our little stand here. You're going to extrude that, and since our lamp is 40 millimeters total, you're going to extrude back 40 millimeters. When you do that, it's going to try to join it with the lamp, so you're going to want to hit New Body. And that's going to make it completely new. And as you can see, now we have a new body over here. We can label that stand. And we can actually save that. Now, if you were trying to do the holes for this to make it come through, since we already got one on the lamp itself, or no, it looks like I left the other one. We can unsuppress that other feature. Where did it go? I think it's right there. Yep. All right. Nope, that's not it. So it's got to be over here somewhere. Either way, so that hole that we had coming out at the bottom, you want it to connect with that. So we're going to hide the back plate, and we're going to create a sketch on top of that right there. And as you can see, that was our 10 that we used was right here. So we're just going to do 10, tab 10, enter, finish sketch. Okay, so I usually hide the stand if it goes underneath it like that, and then click on that box, unhide the stand, and then you'll see that's where the line's at. So we're going to extrude, and since it's pointing this way, you're going to want to hit a negative number. So -9. Again, it comes through. Now we've cut out a little slot. I make mine usually 25 millimeters in and 10 millimeters wide on the stand. So, but yeah, there's that. I'm not even going to save the stand because you guys know how to save it. But we're going to now go into Bamboo Studio. And what you're going to want to do is import the bodies that you just created. So we've got these two bodies right here. We're just going to highlight both of them, the black and the white. If you have more colors, you're going to highlight all of them because you want to import this whole front plate at once. So now it'll say this, load these files as single object in multiple parts. Click yes. And I like to lay this one down out the gate. Then you're going to click on this next plate, import backplate 1. And then we're going to click on that one and import backplate 2. And this one would be for your stand if you were going to import that. So I zoom out, click on that, and you're going to lay these on their faces because you want it to print obviously with that flat end down. That way there's no supports. And now we're just going to color it. So you want to make sure you have the right filament colors over here. I've already got my settings set up in here, but you want black and white on this. You can make it any color if you wanted. We'll click on this one, go to paint, click on the white and fill. Now that we made them separate bodies, you just get to literally click fill on those bodies and it'll fill them in. And there's our card right there, guys. So if you want, I'll show you just a few more things on my settings. These are updated. You guys can find those on my MakerWorld profile. I use these same settings on there. But basically I do 0.22 layer height. We're not trying to get like super good detail going upwards like you would like on a normal model. Just say like on a character's face or something like that. So that really doesn't matter what we're trying to do here. So then I use 0.28 for my initial layer height. The bigger you use that, the bigger that number is, the better adhesion you get. So that's one reason why I use that. Then on strength, on these, there's not a lot of infill. The majority of it's walls. 5% will do fine. I've even done 2% lamps and they're fine. So that's fine. The top shell layers, I can keep it at 5 and 1, or I could go down to 4 and 0.8. It's still going to be just about the same. Now for speed, that first layer, what I do is I use 40 millimeters per second for the initial layer, as you can see, and 60 for the infill. Don't have much issue out of that. Don't need supports. Now on this, you can choose if you want to put a brim on or not. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. If I'm using a bunch of colors, and let's say the thing's not sticking to the plate with the brim off, then I'll turn the brim on. And since black is usually on the outside of everything that I make, you're going to want to click on this button right here. And it's going to take you into plate settings. And this is your first layer filament sequence. So this will take you where you can customize what prints first. So in this instance, I want black to go first if I want a brim. If you can go without a brim, then go ahead and change white first. And let's turn it to no brim right there. This way it'll print just like that, no brim, and the white will be first. That way you don't have any stringing. Now with these settings that I use, you usually don't have stringing on that first layer. So what I do with my filament, I have everything at Bamboo PLA Basic, even though I mainly use Sunlu or eSun. So I make sure that the flow ratio is at 0.99. And that initial layer temp is at 200. Now I play around with these some just to see what can get the best, but for the most part, this is the best I can find. I have been having some issues with that Wham Bam PEX plate with these temps, so I play with them a little, but they don't change very much at all. So there's that, and you want keep your max volumetric speed at default. For cooling, on the auxiliary fan, I turn mine down to 40. I don't need a super high fan going. One, it's super loud, and two, I feel like that fan actually helps pop that model off the bed if it's blowing too much, because you don't want it to cool necessarily. You want that plate to stay hot and stay that constant temperature. So I turn it down to 40. I've even turned it down to 30 before, and that works. Now for settings override, I make sure I turn on retraction and Z-hop for lamps. So I've got these kind of cranked up right now. Normally I just use default, but I was having issues again with that Wham Bam, so I turned them up. These will work, but again, default will work, and I have all these selected. I don't select wipe while retracting white distance, or retract amount before wipe. Yeah, guys, so there you go. There you have it. This way you're wasting less filament. So let's say this, we go ahead and slice this plate and see what it does. So right there, it's using 52 grams of filament. Now, if we had done that in reverse, it probably would use more than this, but we're going to slice this plate just to see what we're saving. So it's using 134 grams of filament. So you can basically mess up 3 times with this new way of making it, and it would cost the same if you had one mess up in the reversed way. So I'm going to go ahead and get this uploaded for you guys. Hope you guys enjoy. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I love seeing you guys as prints. It's awesome. You guys take care.